we just feel so out of control. We don't know what to do, and we feel like we don't have the ability to take control. We can sink or swim, and I don't want to sink, and you don't want to sink. None of us want to sink. It might be bloody hard at times. We might be really battling with some big waves, but you've got to keep swimming, because this is it. We live one life. Let's just go for it. Hello! I am so excited right now because we have been working really hard on building out a new platform. That was my drum roll. It is it's our all-in-one tech platform, because so many of you literally tell, especially over in the membership, tell us about how it's so bloody confusing trying to like figure out how do you create an opt-in page and connect it to an email list, and how do you build out an email funnel, and how do you set up a sales page and a decent checkout, and what is a decent checkout, and where do you host your courses and memberships, and oh my gosh, the tech setup goes on and on and on. It becomes such a headache, and we hear you. And so we have answered, and I'm so excited. It is called FBA Create, and we are going to be rolling it out for you so soon. I cannot wait to tell you more. So keep your ears and eyes peeled. I'll leave a link in the show notes for this if you want to sign up and find out more about it and see a little sneak peek into it. So yeah, check that out. So anyway, in this episode, I want to talk about something that begins with the letter R, recession. I feel like recession is a word that fills so many people with so much dread, so many emotions, like I think flood into people's bodies when they hear that word, of like fear, of uncertainty, of, feeling out of control. Maybe for some of us, it's like we're fed up of even really hearing it. But I think the ultimate question is, how do you get through a recession? How do you thrive through a recession? How are you going to still continue to build the business and life of your dreams, even in a time of economic crisis? Like, how are you going to do that? And these are the questions that I've been asking myself. And I think it's really important to think about this and think about what's your approach going to be. Because firstly, amazing things can happen in recessions. For example, Airbnb was actually created in a recession. So amazing things can come out of hard times. But I want to share with you the 5 things that I'm going to be focusing on to help me get through the economic crisis that is happening and is going to continue to happen, I think, for quite a while. And I think when we do these 5 things, it can really help not only get through and thrive in a recession, but can also just help to radically up-level and transform our lives and help make our lives better. So what the bloody hell are these 5 things, Carrie, then? Okay, so the first thing when it comes to going through any kind of challenging times like a recession is perspective. For me, this is number 1 because it's everything. There's a quote in a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and I tell it to you all the time. He said, everything in life can be taken away from you except for your freedom to choose how you respond. This is such an empowering quote in a difficult time, because while everything can be taken away, while energy prices can go through the roof and things can become really unstable, uncertain and stressful and terrifying, we still get to choose how we respond. So what do I mean about, what does that mean from a practical perspective? It means we have a choice for a start. We can choose to get sucked into the fear-mongering of the media and the way that makes us feel and start to feel this doom and gloom. Or we can choose to think, how am I actually going to get through this? How am I going to thrive? How am I going to get through this and still feel good? How am I going to get through this and make it be something that can actually be a good thing? How can I do that? Because the alternative is I'm going to get swept up in the fear and the terror and the uncertainty of a recession, and it's going to break me. And for me, I do not want that to be an option. I do not want to let that have a chance to take hold of me. So I'm choosing to change my perspective, and instead of getting swept up, I'm going to be actually, no, what do I need to do? How can I get through this and still be living an amazing life and be connected with my dreams and still be dreaming big and thinking big and making incredible things happen. So perspective is everything, and it's life-changing. That leads really nicely into the second thing that I'm going to focus on, and that's the inner work, personal development. So for me, that's having a toolkit that can help you to handle the way you feel, handle your emotions, handle the uncertainty that is going to come up. It is going to create uncertainty. It is going to make us feel out of control. But you know what? We get, like I said, we get to choose how to respond. However, when you have a toolkit of things that can help you to respond really well, then you are more empowered to actually do it. For example, like a really simple thing is breathing. So I downloaded the Wim Hof app. I downloaded the Wim Hof app ages ago, and he has a 30-day challenge on it, which focuses on breath work and cold showers. And so even something simple as doing breath work and cold showers in the morning can like radically help you to like tune in with yourself and regulate yourself, and to help you with stress and the way you feel. It's so powerful. So even integrating a practice like that in a time that's of uncertainty, that's filled with fear, can be really empowering. Or for me, I love visualizing. In your imagination, anything is possible. You can go anywhere, you can experience anything, and you can feel it like it's happening to you right now. And I love that about the imagination. So for me, I know I'm going to get lost in my imagination. I know I'm going to work so blooming hard to build the vision of the life and the business that I want, and not allow myself to get sucked into the fear of like, what if it starts to go backwards? What if it doesn't work out? What if people start buying stuff? I'm not going to let myself go. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there because it doesn't serve me. The only way that serves me is if I flip that perspective and think, well, how am I going to make things better? Which I'm going to get onto in a second. So for me, visualizing helps me to focus on the life that I want to live. So when you're going to sleep at night, it's a great time to just connect and visualize and think about how you want to feel and what you want your life to be like. Even if your life isn't like that now, you can give yourself permission to get lost in the fantasy of it, the feeling of it, the experience of it. There's a great quote by Esther Hicks. She said, "Use your imagination until your big dream feels so familiar that its manifestation is the next logical step." Let me read that again. Use your imagination until your big dream feels so familiar that its manifestation is the next logical step. Like, to be honest with you, I've done this for all the business things I've ever achieved, but in a time of uncertainty, it's so important that we do this and we stay connected and engaged with where we want to go and the dreams that we hold for ourselves, and experience them over and over and over again in your imagination, so it feels like it's just a done deal. It's a done deal. It is so empowering, but it's also so liberating, and it's so fun, and it makes you feel good. So it means you get to feel good in a time when most people are feeling really worried and panicked, but you're actually allowing yourself and your vibration to be, feeling good vibes. So visualize what you want, places you want to go, people you want to meet, how you want your business to be, awards you want to win, how much money you want to make. Just visualize it and play the game of this. It's a game. Play it and have fun with it. So do that inner work. Obviously, there's loads of other things. I will link some videos in the show notes for you on all of the content I've ever produced on that inner work, conditioning yourself for success. From my TEDx talk to all the other little bits I've got for you. I'll link it all if you want to kind of dive deeper into that. This leads me on to the third thing that I'm going to be focusing on, and that is, how am I going to go above and beyond to be of more service to people, to add even more value to this world, to my audience? People aren't going to stop wanting and needing things. That isn't going to happen. But we have to figure out, how can I show up and really be of service? What does that need to look like? Because things probably will change, and in some industries, things will change a lot. So it's like, how can you be creative? How can you think outside the box of ways you can show up and add value and be of service? Because not only is it going to feel really good to just show up and be helpful and to be of service, but that is how you are going to keep creating success for yourself. Asking yourself that simple question, how am I going to go above and beyond to be of service? How am I going to go above and beyond to add value, to be helpful to people? The more helpful you can be to people, the more success you're going to create for yourself. So I am looking at what can I do? What's that going to look like? What things can we put out there that are going to be of real service to our audience, that's going to really be helpful to our audience, that they're going to just be so blown away by that we're creating it. They're just going to be so excited. Like, what does that look like? How can we help them? What can I do? And I'm going to get creative, and I'm going to think outside the box, and I'm going to have fun with thinking about how I can go above and beyond. So think of how you can be of service. And maybe for you, that's thinking about what's your skill set, and how can you really leverage your skill set? What are you passionate about? What lights you up? What do you love? How can you help people? How can you serve people? How can you add value? Just simply asking yourself those questions is so powerful. And thinking about, actually, this is really how I could add value. Maybe actually you might think, this is how I could even really add value in a recession. This is how I could really show up and help people in this time of uncertainty where people are really struggling. And maybe you'll have creative ideas that have only come about because of the struggle of that people are going to be going through right now, or maybe that you're going through right now. Maybe that struggle is actually sparking a way for you to show up and be of service to other people. So really connect and tune in with that, of like how you can show up to be of service. When you can show up to be of service and you show up and you're just your most helpful self, you can make amazing things happen even in really challenging times. So that is the third thing that I'm going to be focusing on. The fourth thing I'm going to be focusing on then is learning. Really learning, because when we are expanding our minds and we are learning new skills, we are learning new techniques, we are learning how to be better, we are learning how to grow, we grow. When we focus on growing, we grow. So in a time and an economy that's shrinking, if you're focusing on growing, then you're going to be growing. So focus on it, learn it, surround yourself by people, or immerse yourself in learning from people who have actually thrived in a recession. Be reading things on how to thrive in a recession, be connecting. Obviously you already are if you're listening to this right now, but be really kind of tuning in and doing that work, that learning to help you to kind of give yourself that base so that you can be safe, you can do this, you can thrive. We can all learn to thrive. It's just that most of us, none of them might remember, but like a lot of us get sucked up into the fear-mongering of the media, and we just feel so out of control. We don't know what to do, and we feel like we don't have the ability to take control. So, but we do. We have the ability to change our perspective. We have the ability to do the inner work. We have the ability to figure out how we can be of service and how we can be really helpful in this world. We have the ability to learn so many things from so many amazing people and learn how we can actually thrive. We can all do that. We have control of that. So let's take control, because that will make us feel good and empowered in ourselves. So yeah, who can you learn from? What do you want to learn? What skills do you want to learn? What knowledge do you want to learn? How do you want to expand your mind? How do you want to think bigger, dream bigger? Don't shrink, grow. Use this as a chance to grow. Let's really go for this and do this. And this leads me on to my fifth and final thing that I will be doing. Surrounding myself with people that are going to be dreaming even bigger. Seriously, we all know that we become like the 5 people we spend the most time with. So it's like, who are you spending time with and what are they saying? Are they terrified? Are they scared? Do they talk a lot about being afraid? Or are they like, I'm going to figure out how I can, or are they dreaming bigger still? Are they thinking bigger still? Are they figure out ways to stay inspired and empowered and to work on themselves or learn and grow during like this time? Like, what are they doing? What's their reaction? What's their response? And is it the response that you want? And if not, find a new group of people, or find another group of people that you can spend a lot of time with, so that their way of thinking can rub off on you, or connecting with those people so you can see what ideas might arise, what opportunities might arise. Like when you do that and you connect and you network, you might get into a situation where a group of you decide to do something that becomes like amazing, and it just is such a game changer for you. So really connecting and networking with people who are going to elevate you. That is what I'm going to be doing. And I think it's like one of the most powerful things that we can do. So those are the 5 things I'm going to be focusing on to help me to keep grounded in myself, to feel good in myself, and to take control over the things I have control over. There are lots of things that we don't have control over, but like I said, we have control over how we choose to respond. And I am going to choose to respond by saying, I am coming out there to add as much value, to be of much service, to learn, to grow, to do what I need to do so that I can live my best life, so that I can continue to build the business of my dreams, so that I can continue to build the life of my dreams, so I can continue to help other people. And that's what I want. And I feel fully committed to that vision. So commit to the vision that you want for yourself, and don't let things throw you off track. And if they do throw you off track, come back to these 5 things and think, what can I do to help get creative and think of ways that I can make this work for me and feel empowered. Because it's like, we can sink or swim, and I don't want to sink and you don't want to sink. None of us want to sink. So let's not sink. Let's swim and let's do it. And it might be bloody hard at times. We might be really battling with some big waves, and it might feel hard, and you might feel like you want to give up, but you've got to keep swimming, because this is it. We live one life, one precious life. And I want to keep going in the direction of my dreams. And I think you want to keep going. I know you want to keep going in the direction of your dreams too. So let's let nothing interfere with that. Let's just go for it. So that is my mindset. That is my perspective. That's my take. And I hope it's helpful. So yeah, would love to hear what your thoughts are on this. I think together we can be so much stronger, and support each other, be an emotional support for each other, be a safe space for each other, which is so important. So we're here for you if you need us. And if you want more, come check out more of the podcast, get more involved in FEA, come and join us over in the membership. We'd love to have you over there and welcome you into the safe community of amazing women building successful businesses. So yes, we are here for you and to help you. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next week for another episode of the She Meets Business Show.